Now here's the part of the show we simply call In Case You Miss It. It's a chance for you to look back at the magic and the mystery of horse racing here in British Columbia from the Sport of Kings perspective, in case you missed it. Several years back, a young apprentice rider arrived here at Hastings Race Course. Her name was Nicola Wright, and as you're about to see, at first it was tough, but she believed in herself, and here's the story of Nicky Wright, in case you missed it.
I've been riding ponies since I was 5, and none of my family have anything to do with racing. My riding instructor actually heard of Newmarket Racing School, and she said, "Oh, you're small, why don't you have a go?" So I quit college, which really everyone was quite fed up with me, but I wanted to give it a go. So it's so tough there. You ride under contract, and Henry had 6 apprentices and like 2 horses that we could ride. So you know, you weren't, if you were riding and you were getting outside rides, you'd be driving for 5 hours for one in the last at 100 to 1, and it gets disheartening, you know. So I had a couple of winners, but I had the opportunity to go over to North America on a working holiday and go home. Let's get going.
I happened to be at the Gap.
Happened to be at the Gap, doing nothing.
And here goes this little peanut buying a horse, and I did the classic double take that you see in the movies. The bang around, and I said, "My God, what was that?" Chased her back to the barn, found out that she was miserable trying to get going. She said, "Nobody will do this, nobody will do that." And I said, "What do you mean they won't do that?" 2 hours later, she had her license. Yeah, I think I'm going to let you breeze the horse.
I think with, you know, now I am race riding, I think a lot of trainers, once they see you ride, riders suit horses, whether you're male or female, and sometimes, you know, you'd want an aggressive guy, you know, when a horse needs an aggressive ride, and other times you may have a nervous horse that needs a, you know, bit of a pampering round there, and sometimes a girl will be better on that kind of horse, you know. So I think there are advantages and disadvantages of being female, but I am, so I can't do a lot about it.
You know, I've been around a lot of riders, I've developed a lot of riders, and the one thing I can't drill through their heads is the fact that you can't ride a horse faster than it can run. And here was this little 100-pound thing doing exactly what I've been trying to drill into the heads of all the other riders naturally. And I said, oh my goodness, it's like finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
I was just happy to get an opportunity. You know, I really wanted to ride, and I'd kind of just set the fact when I was down in LA it wasn't going to happen, and I didn't want to go back to Britain. So just to have the opportunity, I was like, let's give it a go, you know. And we finally got going, and we had a good start. Once we got to the races, it really had a winner on the first day, and I keep going.
She's quiet and she's willing to learn. You know, that's a big part. If you're quiet and you listen to what the other guys have to say and try and improve yourself, then you're gonna get somewhere. So that seems to be what she's doing. So she'll be all right.
Mel's always had an eye for a rider and a horse. And anybody I bring up here, he tests out because he is my brother. And if he likes him, he says yes. And if he doesn't, he says no. So he took one look at her and said yes.
You know, this will be my first full season riding. I only rode not even 2 months, the end of last year. So it's happened quick, and I'm thrilled with the start I'm getting, and especially now coming into the season and getting to ride for a lot of different trainers and lots of different horses, and it's an experience for me. It's all experience for me, you know.
Being an apprentice and female is like having 2 strikes against you. And the response that the people have given her here is just outstanding. Without mentioning names, I brought a lot of riders up here, top-class riders. And I've gone into barns and they flat told me I wouldn't ride an apprentice if it was the last one, and the same ones that wouldn't ride the apprentice would say, I wouldn't ride a girl if it was the light scratcher horse, if that was the only rider left in the room. And those same trainers have come to me without me going to them and said, is Nicola available? And I've had the glorious opportunity to say no.
Payback.
From the word go, you know, he's grabbed hold of me and had faith in me when, you know, I was a little girl rider coming here and no one, you know, wants to really take a second look kind of thing. And Wayne had faith in me and has enough confidence for both of us most of the time. So, you know, which is really good for me too. And kind of I trust him, so.
Now, as far as what Nicola Wright is doing right now, after several riding accidents, she decided to return home. She retired from riding, but she still is involved with horse racing.